In this episode of Cars from Japan, presented by Cars from Japan, we're taking a look at a Subaru Legacy STi S402. In the same way that STi adds their flavour and some motorsport punch to the S2O series of WRXs, they've also done up a few of their legacies, or called Liberty here in Australia. And this is one of them, the Subaru Legacy S402. Basically, it's STi's hot version of the Legacy. Let's take a closer look. So the Legacy S402, I guess, is the more grown-up STi that you get. It's something that's more practical, more luxurious, more streetable, but you've still got the STi cred and the performance to go with it. Now, they made 200 of these in the station wagon and 200 in the sedan. So in total, they are still a pretty rare car to have. In terms of styling, obviously this one's a lot more subdued, a bit more of a sleeper, but it does have a different front lip. It has the mesh grille. The front guards have been widened to fit the larger wheels on this car. You can see the little vent at the top of the guard. You've got the silver mirrors that are a signature. And the other giveaway besides the badging on the back is the STi Sports exhaust. The S402 also gets the lightweight and wider BBS alloy wheels, same as the WRX STi S40 series. But it gets bigger brakes than the STi WRXs. It gets these 6-piston calipers. There's 2 piston at the back, and obviously STi has done their own shocks and springs to suit this car. Under the hood of the S402 is still the 2.5 litre 4-cylinder boxer engine, but they have changed the turbocharger to a twin scroll unit. They revised the exhaust and made tweaks to the ECU. Power is up to 210 kilowatts, so not as much as the WRX STi S20 series of the equivalent era, but it does have more than obviously the normal Legacy GT. What else is under here? You can see the STi strut brace, and you get your nice little badge that tells you that this is number 212 out of 402. Why did they make 402 of these instead of 400? I think it's pretty obvious, right? S402. Stepping inside the S402, it's very obvious that this is a totally different car to the WRX STi S20 series. Obviously, a little bit more space. It's designed to be a little bit more luxurious with a dash of sport rather than sporty with a dash of luxury. Plenty of STi badges to let you know what sort of car you're in, STi embroidered seats, but obviously I don't have the bucket seats of the STi, so I don't know what it's going to be like with the twisties. But the most important thing in this car is a 6-speed manual out of the WRX STi. And then you have Subaru's SI drive, which gives you the sport sharp mode for, I guess, better throttle response and tuning of the ECU, etc. It's a pretty comfortable place to be, but whether you'd go for this or the WRX STi, more comes down to what style of car you want. This would be more practical day to day, more comfortable. Obviously, being a wagon, there's plenty of space. And yeah, it's a pretty nice place to be. But the only way we're going to find out what these seats are like and what it drives like is to do exactly that. Take it for a spin. Let's go. Driving the S402 out to our location showed that it definitely isn't as sharp and nimble, but get it onto this nice, smooth, flowing section of road, and it definitely handles better than a station wagon probably should. And that torque means you don't even really need to do a whole lot of gear changes through here. Just keep it in third, use the torque, and out of the corner it comes. Oh, that's pretty good. Twin scroll turbo on this 2.5 means you can just stay in third gear and roll onto the throttle, no problem at all. Wow, super torquey. Not bad. Driving out to our test road, it's very clear that this is very different to the WRX STi S20 series of cars. It's obviously bigger, heavier, it's meant to be more comfortable, more practical, but does it take away from the fun? Well, yes and no. We're going to a bit of test road here. When you turn in, it doesn't turn in as sharp, but it kind of, once it rests onto its suspension, it's got heaps of corner speed, very fast, changes direction, not as good as the STi, but still very good for what it is. But yeah, a bit of a different driving style with this compared to the STi. You can't really throw it in, it's going to be a bit smoother, but once it settles on the suspension, It's very good. It's pretty much exactly what STi said this car would be in the articles in the brochure, and that is, it's nicer to drive normally and every day than what I guess the hot STi models are, but you still can have plenty of fun on the road with it. So this car suits more of a faster flowing back road, while the STi, I want to find the sharpest hairpin rally type piece of road that I can. So they're different cars, but they're both great for different reasons. I would have, in a perfect world, this as a daily and a WRX STi S204, S205, whatever, as a weekend car. But if you can only have one, which one do you take? Well, it's up to you really. Do you want to throw your mates and kids in the car and be able to cruise around and then have some fun on some corners? Or do you want to specifically go out looking for some pretty hardcore roads or a racetrack and not really care about comfort or whether you're going to soar back in 2 hours or whatever? That really is up to you, isn't it? But overall, STi did a great job with this car, and buying this from Cars Japan really is, I guess, it's one way that you can own a rare, unique and collectible car, but something that is still practical and usable at the same time. So overall, yeah, it's actually a pretty cool piece of kit.